Let's talk about film photography. Let's talk why you should shoot film or why you should shoot digital. I think sometimes when you go online, there is a lot of discussions why you should shoot one or other, but they're very surface level. They're not very deep, and I'd like to talk a little bit about this. This is a series that I call Talk It Through, where I come here and I talk about my process, photography, and videography. First, I want to talk the reasons why I choose to shoot film a lot of the time. I really enjoy how it can be very manual, how you go through a whole process of taking your photograph, of developing your photograph, and scanning your photograph after. I think all this process makes a little bit difference. I don't know why, but I think that creates something that almost it feels like I'm making an entire photograph rather than just pressing a shutter. When you have a digital camera, sometimes you can take the same frames so many times. You can take the same photograph 10 times, 20 times, depends what camera you have. But when you have a film camera, it feels that, of course, you can take a lot of photographs, but it feels like everything has a little bit of more intentional, that you have to kind of get the right moment, and you also have to be okay in not getting the perfect moment a lot of the times. So that's a big reason that I feel it makes me always go towards film photography. It's almost like I'm choosing to make a harder photograph, and I get happy when I get a good shot. When I have a digital camera, a lot of the times it feels like I'm not really making work because it's so easy. You can see your results straight away. You can kind of like, when you're outside, if you're taking photographs with a digital camera, you can see straight away what happened and you can learn from your mistake right there. This can be a very good thing if you're starting, but sometimes when you have a film camera, you see this a week later, a few days later, and it's just, there is a different feeling to it. I know it sounds weird, it's almost like I like suffering, but maybe I do. But I just like all the manual work when it comes to film photography. I also think the cameras, when it comes to film photography, usually shooting cameras that are like 60, 50 years old, and they all very much manual. There are some automated ones, but I don't really have these cameras. I like working with mechanical cameras, so you have to do it everything from metering. You have to choose your shutter speed, you manual focus. I really enjoy working with manual focus. I think sometimes the autofocus will fail, or it will focus on something that you didn't really want to focus on it. Even though cameras now are really modern, they're almost perfect, but I feel when I make the mistake myself, when the focus fail, and that's because of me, I kind of accept a little bit more than when a machine fail. It makes me angry. I don't know why, because I feel like I could have made that photograph work, but when a machine fail, I kind of will blame the machine. And there is something special about film photography. It is really hard to explain. I talk so many times about it because I shoot film for a long time now, and it is a very expensive thing. You ended up spending a lot of money. You're working with failure because you don't really know what is happening. But I think when things are harder, when you have to work harder to get something, to get that good photograph, it feels better than when you just like far away click so much that you're gonna get a good photograph. I think a lot of photographers sometimes they don't really think about their process. They don't really think what they're doing when they go outside, and they're kind of just like pressing that shutter to see if they get something. It's almost like if you put a camera in a dog that's taking photographs non-stop and this dog going around the city, 100% one of those photographs is going to be good because it's just spraying. It's just like there is no intention. So I think the reason, that the main reason for the film photography is to be intentional with my work and to feel that I'm actually doing the entire work from zero to the end result, which is when I'm scanning. But me saying that doesn't mean that I feel like everyone should shoot film. I don't think that every person out there has the money to shoot film, can like enjoy the process. I think photography as well should be about enjoying your process. It's not just because a creator or someone on YouTube or me coming here to a camera and telling you, oh, I think film is the best, you should do that. Like, no, you have to do whatever you prefer doing on your work. Every person will be different. That's the beauty of photography. It's very democratic. You don't need the latest gear to produce good work. You don't need to be shooting film to make the best work. It's a very personal thing, and that's my personal choice by shooting film most of the time. And by the way, I do shoot digital. It's just you'd rather shoot film all the time, but I cannot afford to mainly shoot film 100%. I would say it's 80% film, 20% digital, but more because of the money, not because I will choose to shoot digital. I also think when you talk about film, it's a very middle class type of photography. It's not something that everyone can afford. And when I say middle class, I meant like some countries is not even a middle class thing. I'm from Brazil, and if you're talking about film photography in Brazil, film is very, very expensive. So you have to have quite a lot of money if you just want to shoot film and if you want to shoot really hard. So I think we have to understand that if you don't have the money to do that and you still want to photograph, it feels like there is no point on shooting film, because why would you deprive yourself on taking these photographs, on getting better, on going out there and making work, just because you don't have the film? It doesn't really make sense on my head. I feel like if I have no money at all to shoot film, I would shoot full-time just digital, because I still want to make photographs. I still want to go out there. So don't try to get into this trap that you need to do it and spend all the money that you have and don't have to shoot film. A lot of the times maybe it will be better for you to shoot other type of things and save, and maybe next month you can shoot a whole month of film while you're still growing this month, while you're still getting better. Because again, there is no point, you know, if you like photography, you want to take photograph. And I think a lot of people online, they don't talk about the money side of it, and they just talk about film is the best, film this, film that, and it's not always. I truly think is the camera that you're carrying, the tools that you're using, they matter to a point. It goes back to the gear matter bullshit. It does matter to a point, but at the same time, a better camera in my hands not gonna make a better photograph just because I have this camera or this other camera. What matters is what I know about photography, how much work I'm putting out there, how much I'm going outside and I'm making photographs. If I go outside once a month, and if I go outside 3 times a week, 4 times a week, my photograph gonna be much better if I work harder, even if I'm working with a shitty camera, because in the end of the day, what matters is the photographer, is the person behind the camera. And I think people don't think about that. We live in this society where it's all about buying stuff. A lot of the times you don't really need to buy anything else. You just need to stop being a lazy fuck and going out there to make work. Digital photography can be very handy. If you're starting photography, there are 2 paths that you can go. I do think it's very important for new photographers to do film photography, because it's gonna teach you to work everything manually. It's gonna show you how to do everything yourself. The camera not gonna work for you. You're gonna have to understand your camera to be able to make a good photograph. And I also feel it's a good starting point, because the cameras can be very cheap. You can get a very old camera that's not so expensive and then go from there. But I also think there are very good cheap digital cameras. You can get an old DSLR nowadays for like £100, and that camera will produce good enough work that you can start. You don't need the most expensive thing. The film will help you to learn about cameras, to learn about exposure, to learn about how to set everything correctly, and the digital at the start will teach you about composition, because you're going to be able to take so many frames at the same time, because you're going to be able to go out on a day and take 300 photos, 500 photos, because you're not spending money. It's just easier, and you also can experiment a little bit. A lot of the times when I have a film camera, I'm not gonna experiment too much, because you want to be certain that you're getting the shots that you know how to do it, because you're spending money, at least for me, because I can't afford to buy 40 rolls a month, you know. But with my digital camera, I don't care, because I just I can take photos of anything. If I don't like it, it's just a file, you delete it, you save it, whatever you want to do. So I think it's a very good starting point for learning composition and trying different things. There's a lot of like different reasons for using both, so don't let this idea of one is better than other to get into your head, because in the end doesn't really matter. What matters is the photographer, what matters is what is behind the lens. And also do what you can afford, do what you can do. If that's what you have at the moment, use your camera. If you use your camera as much as you can, I'm sure you're gonna get better photographs. It's not about the camera. I hope in this video I helped you to think which camera is better for you to use and which one will help you on your workflow. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take photos every day.